Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Average Joe Sports Show, brought to you by AverageJoeSports.com, a blog for the everyday sports fan. I'm your host, Noah Strackbein, with special guest Tom Leach, and today we'll be arguing on who's the better player as of right now, Stephen Curry or LeBron James. Enjoy. So recently, a big debate between me, my good friend Tom over here, came up about who's the better basketball player right now. I said it was Steph Curry, and the look he gave me was not pleasing. I don't know. I think that if you're talking the best in the world right now, you can't argue that Steph Curry, the MVP of last season, isn't the best player in the world. Tom, I'm going to let you start first. He's going to give his argument for LeBron, and we're going to go from there. I mean, I don't know how you're going to win this one, but I'm going to let you say what you have to say.
All right, well, first of all, you can't argue with Curry's numbers. I mean, they're out of this world. He's playing on another level. He hits every shot he takes. But with that being said, let's run down LeBron's track record. 4-time NBA MVP, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, Rookie of the Year, 2-time Olympian, and he has an NBA scoring title. And he's just been the most consistent player I've ever seen coming out of high school and not Davidson University. So, with that being said, LeBron has only not averaged above 25 points since his rookie season. He's been to the NBA championships 5 times, where he won only 2. But looking at the players he brought with him and single-handedly took to the championship, that's just impressive.
Yeah, but he has, I'm not going to argue the whole championship thing. I never do. I never say, oh, well, LeBron should have won 5 because he shouldn't have. He didn't have teams. But Curry's been to 1, and he's won 1. And it was last season against LeBron James, who you could argue that LeBron James didn't have a team. I'll give you that. But he won against LeBron James last year. He just beat LeBron James on Christmas Day a week ago. I don't understand how much this guy needs to do to prove that he's finally the best in the world. He played against LeBron a week ago with a bum calf. You saw him limping around basically the entire game. He was afraid to shoot, and he still put up, almost 30 points against the Cavaliers, who were finally healthy, had Kyrie Irving back, had Iman Shumpert back. They were a full team. There was nothing holding them back. He still beat them with a bum calf. I don't know how much more he has to do to finally prove himself.
Well, let's take it back to the finals. You can't put any of that on LeBron James. He averaged nearly 36 points, around 11 boards, and almost 9 assists. That's a triple-double almost he averaged. And that's a team that he wasn't used to. It was their first season altogether. And, Curry's been in the system, in Golden State system, for how many years he's been in the league, and they finally molded together and were able to win. I mean, you can't knock him for that, but you can't put that loss on LeBron James.
Yeah, but okay, then I'll give you that. But if you're going to argue the best basketball player as of right now, you could argue that LeBron James could play all 5 positions. People have in the past, and he obviously could, but that's not Stephen Curry's fault that he's 6'2", and LeBron James is 6'7", 6'8". Like, that's not his fault. That he is a point guard with possibly a shooting guard, and he's nothing more. He can't play anymore because he doesn't have the physical attributes, but he does everything he can. I mean, this season alone, he's averaging almost 6 rebounds a game for a point guard. That's pretty impressive. And you could say, oh, he's not playing any defense, he's just playing offense. No, he's not. He's averaging 2.2 steals per game. Like, he's top 5 in steals. You can't take the defense away from him because he plays defense. The Golden State Warriors don't play good defense. They never have all season long, and they win through their offense. But Curry is not just any regular Golden State Warriors player. He's not the average player on that team. He's the extraordinary player. He's the one that wins for them, and he's the one who plays the defense and keeps those games out of control. So I don't know where you could argue any of these points. He's got them beat. Curry has LeBron beat in every statistical category this season except for possibly rebounds, because he's just the better player. I mean, it's clear. It's there. There's nothing you could argue.
I mean, you could argue and say that Curry averages 6 rebounds a game, which is impressive for a point guard. Not ideal size for the NBA. But then again, you could say LeBron does average 6 assists a game. So for a guy his size, he could do it all. Like you said before, he could probably play all 5 positions if he wanted to. I mean, he's just 6'8", probably 250, maybe 245. Could run with the best of them. He's quick. He's fast. His dribbling's solid. His passing's good. He could do everything. I mean, to me, he's the most dominant player in the NBA right now.
But he could do everything, but Curry does things better. He shoots the ball better. He handles the ball better. He passes better. He's got all these attributes that have exceeded LeBron James's ability to play. And I'm not saying that LeBron James wasn't able to do this when he was at his peak, because 3-4 years ago, when LeBron James, or even 6-7 years ago, when LeBron James was on the Cavs, he was unstoppable. He was hands down the best player in the world. There is no arguing. People could have said Kobe Bryant was, Tim Duncan was, Paul Pierce. There was all these players that were named, but it wasn't. It was LeBron James, hands down. You couldn't even argue it. And he ran the NBA, but he doesn't anymore because Curry obviously does these things better. I've never seen anyone do what Curry does to Chris Paul every time they play. I've never seen so many people fall down trying to steal the ball from a player than when I see people try to guard Stephen Curry. It's just he has all these attributes that have exceeded and surpassed LeBron James's attributes as an NBA player. That's just how it is. He has all the talent that LeBron James had and has, but better.
I'll give you that. I mean, the kid, he is unguardable. He's gonna dribble, and then pull up and shoot out of nowhere, and he's gonna make it. But I mean, LeBron is just so consistent, and the reason everybody is on Curry right now is because he hasn't been doing this his whole career. All of a sudden, he's putting up these big points, but LeBron's been doing this since he's been in the league, so it's not surprising. He's not blowing anybody away because he's just doing what he does year in and year out, and that's just be successful and score and play the game the best he can.
All right. I guess okay. I could understand that. I could say, or you could say that LeBron James has done this over and over again. So maybe it's nothing new. This is like a new toy. You're getting excited because Stephen Curry's finally, doing what everyone hoped he did because they saw him do it during the Davidson run in the NCAA tournament a few years ago. But it doesn't take away from the fact that he's doing all this and he's doing it so well. I mean, when you're averaging almost a 50% three-point percentage, I don't see any way that people could say, "Oh, you aren't the best scorer in the league," because you watch him and he is hands down. People say Durant, but Durant is not number one. It's Stephen Curry. It doesn't matter. You could watch them and say, "Oh, okay, Steph Curry won that one." And if you haven't watched them, then you're going to argue Durant. That's just how it is. When it comes to defense, he plays defense as well as anyone out there. And he could rebound. He plays with more heart and hustle than anyone. So I don't know. I just think that I get the new toy aspect, but he's still as exciting as LeBron James was when everyone argued that LeBron James was the best in the world, or began to argue that LeBron James was best in the world. This is just recurring. This is Steph Curry's time now.
I see what you're saying. But it is easy to jump on the Curry bandwagon. I mean, he was underestimated coming out of high school. He was underestimated at Davidson. He was underestimated during the draft, and then his first couple of years in the NBA. And now, so people love the underdog role. People love that he's now playing at such a high level, and he's so successful. But LeBron's just been doing it since he's been drafted, and so people really expected it. They saw that coming, but from Curry, you don't see that coming. So it is you can't take the hard work away from him, and the accomplishments he's had. He's 1-1 in the championship game. That team really had a couple years to mold together, and I just think it's impressive that LeBron has done it twice now, brought a team in their first year together to the championship game. They lost both games, but that's impressive that they can go without any really chemistry between them.
No, yeah, you definitely could, because LeBron James can win. He can bring any team to the finals, but so could Steph Curry, in my opinion. I've heard from many people say that Steph Curry couldn't bring any average team to an NBA Finals, but I don't think that that's true because you could pick apart the Cavs team and Golden State's team, and they're almost equal. I mean, I get that Draymond Green is much better than almost anyone else on the Cavs besides LeBron James, but when it comes to Kyrie Irving, I think that he's almost equivalent to Klay Thompson. I think that Harrison Barnes really isn't that much more special than Iman Shumpert. I get that Iman Shumpert's been hurt recently, but this year Iman Shumpert's pretty impressive as soon as he's come back, and I think that he's equivalent, if not better, than Harrison Barnes. Timothy Mozgov is a great down-low player. He matches Bogut to a T, and then you have guys coming off the bench like Mo Williams, Dellavedova, that just play their hearts out every game, and you can't take anything away from that when Curry only has, Sean Livingston, basically. You could argue that, like, Drew Holiday's there, but he's not much. And besides those two, they don't really have bench players that are really that impressive.
I give you that. I mean, I don't know. These two teams do stack up well, and I think it does come down to the best players on both teams in LeBron and Curry. I mean, Curry does have a lot of help with Klay Thompson and Barnes. They shoot the ball, and Draymond Green, they're all solid players. And LeBron does have Kyrie, who's not healthy, and we'll see what happens there when they start playing together again. And I don't know. It's a debate that no one's going to win, really. I don't know.
No. Yeah, hands down. I mean, both these players, obviously, the best two players in the world. No one's going to win. It's just fun to have some arguments every once in a while. And that's just all it is at this point. I mean, there's no winner in this. There never will be. I'd just like to give Tom another shout out. Thank you. Love having you on the show. It's always a pleasure. Obviously, there's never going to be a winner in this argument. It's just going to be one for the ages, and it's always fun to argue. I hope everyone at home is doing the same. I hope this sparked a little bit of a debate between everyone who watches this, and we'll see you next week. For the rest of you and everyone watching, please go to averagejoesports.com. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube page, follow us on Twitter at AverageJoeSports, on Facebook at AverageJoeSports, and we'll see you next week.
Shake it up, shake it up, shake up.